You're listening to the Business Communicators.
There's a ton of different certifications. IABC Officers Certification, the American Marketing Association Officer Certification, PRSA Officers Certification, the ANA Officers Certification. Are we getting to the point to where maybe these certifications should maybe be used to be, okay, you are a credible journalist, you are a credible news source? What's your takes on certifications for communicators?
One thing good about certification is it requires continuing education. And there's no doubt that we should be lifelong learners. And sometimes, with those certifications, it forces that for those who aren't proactive. Beyond that, I think the best, experience is to be had actually on the job, not getting, letters after your name. So that's where I stand on that. I don't think there's anything wrong with certification. Certainly it comes from the right place and it helps educate. I don't know that it helps elevate communicators. I don't know that outside of, the PR space, for example, that the C-suite is looking at credentials for their top communicators. That would be something to aspire to if I were an accreditation organization, is to educate the C-suite about, those credentials of communicators. But it's not a bad thing. I can't say I'm neutral. I don't think it moves our profession forward, but I don't think it moves it backwards either.
I like what you said earlier about continuing your education. Now, I personally agree with you 100% that it's more important to learn on your own and actually show results than to have the letters behind your name. I think that's incredibly important, whether it's reading, networking, learning from people through mentorship. I think that's incredibly crucial for professional development. But when we look at communications professional in a whole, I know that over the past 18 months, things have changed, working from home, maybe not having that water cooler talk. But in your time, just as the CEO of Ragan, what have you seen as the biggest gap for communications professionals today, and maybe the one area in which comms pros really need to focus on to help elevate their personal careers?
Business fluency. Communicators need to speak the language of business and understand even how to read a balance sheet, for example, understand the ecosystem in which their particular organization lives, whether it's an energy company or consumer packaged goods, like where, follow the money there. Who are the players? Because if you don't, and understanding the business goals of the organization as a whole, like really understanding them, not just knowing what the revenue goals are, but sort of all the different units and how they all work together, and, collaborating with marketing and finance and digital, and IT. And so all of those things, to become, that's the language to learn, all the languages, is, to become more fluent in the business. And then for sure, communicators will be invited into the room and be like near the front of the table.
You've been listening to the Business Communicators.